Dear students, in this session also we are continuing with the urban planning in problems of urban planning in India. Problems of urban planning in India are rampant. During this process, many problems and obstacles come up, but luckily, the same as any other kind of problems, there are solutions and precautions which we will discuss in detail. There are many other specialized streams of planning that constitute urban planning: environmental planning, transport planning, land use planning, housing, etc. Regional planning involves planning at a larger scale comprised of both urban and rural planning. While it took 40 years of urban India to reach 230 million, it will take only half this time to grow the next 250 million. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೂ ಪರಿಹಾರ ಇದ್ದಂತೆ ನಗರ ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಗರ ಪುನರ್ಸ್ಥಾಪನೆಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಅದರದ್ದೇ ಆದಂತಹ ಪರಿಹಾರಗಳು ಸೂಚಿಸಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರಿಸರಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳು, ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳು, ಭೂಮಿಯ ಬಳಕೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳು, ವಸತಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳು, ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಯೋಜನೆಗಳು, ಹೀಗೆ ಹಲವಾರು ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಈ ಮೂಲಕ ಪರಿಹರಿಸಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. The McKinsey Global Institute has termed this India's urban awakening, which presents a massive challenge for urban planning. In their prediction, they will generate 70% of net new jobs by 2030. They will also produce more than 70% of gross domestic product and stimulate a fourfold increase in per capita income across the nation. In 2011, about 377 million persons lived in nearly 8,000 towns and cities, about half of which were without urban local bodies. About 1/3 of the population living in towns and cities were first generation urban dwellers. As in China, where the average income in the cities was $1,000 a year against the rural yearly income of $300, India too faces a demand and supply gap. This is not only for homes but also water, sanitation, transportation and communication services. This is in addition to access to facilities such as banking, shopping and more, which have continued to grow over the decades. Such gaps appear to be directly proportional population size of cities. The gap between the urban and the rural has naturally led to mass immigration from the rural to the urban spaces. This resulted in various problems, the biggest being whether these urban spaces were equipped to accept so many new residents. The challenge in urban planning faced by the local self-governments. Urban planning on this front has been inadequate. Approximately only 25% or 2,000 of these towns and cities had master plans or development plans. These are land use centric plans approved by the respective state legislatures to be achieved over a period of 20 to 25 years. The first problem was that these master plans were poorly implemented due to fund scarcity. Secondly, detailed action strategies that evolved out of master plans were unavailable. The question is, will this remain a chronic problem or will India rise to challenge of more strategic urban planning? In the newly urbanized India of 2050 and beyond, the tax base for the national economy may grow significantly. The phenomenal GDP growth will in turn provide funds for improved urban planning. By 2050, India is expected to graduate to an urban nation with approximately 900 million persons, or nearly 56% of India's population. This will bring India closer to developed nations, where the distribution of population between urban and rural settlements have tended to stabilize at about 70% or more. The proportion of the first generation urban dwellers in 2050 could be similar to the 2011 scenario. The history of urban planning in India. Looking back at history, municipalities in India were only established in the early 19th century during colonial rule. The role of municipalities in India has remained stable, frequently at the cost of quality of life of the citizens. During post-independence era, significant official urban planning initiation to undertake planned development of towns and cities include enactment of Delhi Development Act 1957, leading to establishment of the Delhi Development Authority, followed by establishment about 300 development authorities for as many cities. Launching of the national schemes such as IDSMT in the 6th 5-year plan intended to address critical development needs of small and medium towns. Publication of India's first urbanization policy in 1988 by the National Commission on Urbanization chaired by Charles Correa. This document was the first to point out the inevitable leading role of cities in driving forward India's economy and the necessity of integrating spatial and economic development of its urban centers. Enactment of the 73rd and the 74th constitutional amendments in 1952, known as Panchayat Raj Act and Nagarapalika Act, these empowered elected representatives of districts or urban local bodies to undertake economic, spatial, planned development of villages and towns. ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರ ಭಾರತವು ಪ್ರಜಾಸತ್ತಾತ್ಮಕ ಆಡಳಿತ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಒಪ್ಪಿಕೊಂಡ ಹಿನ್ನೆಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಡಳಿತ ಯಂತ್ರವು ಸಮರ್ಥಕವಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಬೇಕಾದರೆ ಅದು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ವಿಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣದ ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಆಧರಿಸಬೇಕೆಂಬ ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಲಾಯಿತು. ಅಧಿಕಾರ ವಿಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಜಾಸತ್ತಾತ್ಮಕ ವಿಕೇಂದ್ರೀಕರಣವೆಂದು ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಲಾಗಿತ್ತು. ನಗರದ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ರಚನೆ, ರೂಪ ಹಾಗೂ ಅದರ ಕಾರ್ಯಶೈಲಿಯನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥೈಸಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವ ದೃಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ನಗರಾಡಳಿತದ ಮಾದರಿಯನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಉದಾಹರಿಸಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. 1974ರ ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ತಿದ್ದುಪಡಿಗೆ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿ ಎಂಬಂತೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರವು ತಾನು ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ 1976ರಲ್ಲಿ ರೂಪಿಸಿದ್ದ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪುರಸಭಾ ನಗರಪಾಲಿಕಾ ಕಾಯ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿಯೂ 1990ರಲ್ಲಿ 93ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೂಕ್ತ ತಿದ್ದುಪಡಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ ಅನೇಕ ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನು ಸೇರ್ಪಡೆಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಈ ಕಾಯ್ದೆಯ ಈಗಿನ ರೂಪದಂತೆ ನಗರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ರಚನೆಗೆ ಅದು ನೀಡಿರುವ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಈ ಕೆಳಗಿನಂತೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. 73 ಮತ್ತು 74ನೇ ತಿದ್ದುಪಡಿಗಳನ್ನು ತರಲಾಯಿತು. ಸಂವಿಧಾನದ 73ನೇ ತಿದ್ದುಪಡಿಯು ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಗ್ರಾಮ ಪಂಚಾಯತ್ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದ್ದಾಗಿದ್ದರೆ 74ನೇ ತಿದ್ದುಪಡಿಯು ನಗರ ಮತ್ತು ಪಟ್ಟಣ ಪ್ರದೇಶಗಳಲ್ಲಿನ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಗಳ ರಚನೆಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಸ್ಥಳೀಯ ಆಡಳಿತದ ಅವಕಾಶವಿರುವುದು. But since land in state subject, only some states adopted the acts, resulting in slowdowns on the implementation side. In 2005, JNNURM launched by the Government of India was the first initiative of its kind in terms of the scale of investment of urban USD 20 billion over a period of 7 years. 65 cities were selected under this initiative. In June 2015, the Government of India initiated the Smart City Mission. Its objective was to improve the condition of 100 cities within 5 years with an approved investment of $15 billion. The Smart City Mission idea appears to be the most comprehensive in nature and serious in terms of intention. The apathetic urban Indians. 3 situations reflecting the state of mind and apathy of an average Indian who lives in a city. Jatin Das' conclusion about the contemporary Indian society that no one cares, based on the fate of his painting Flying Apsara, commissioned by Air India in 1991. Axis Bank ATM experience. One bank worker sat on the floor inside the ATM cubicle and was having his lunch laid around him. Another was readying the ATM for users awaiting outside, floor strewn with bits of printouts. The queue of customers slowly grew. Minutes later, the second worker finished his job and joined his colleague sitting on the floor for lunch. Customers kept waiting till a third bank worker came and found the ATM ready for use, but customers were unaware. She then ushered the waiting customer in. On a busy city road, a helmetless motorcyclist met with an accident. Other citizens travelling on the same route steered and passed by him lying helplessly. The Government of India is vigorously promoting the use of toilets as part of its Swachh Bharat program. In recently telecast documentary, the BBC interviewed a few villagers of North India. These villagers pointed out the advantages of open defecation, such as the need of a lota rather than a bucket full. Effective urban planning must include citizen participation. The task of building a world-class urban India in a sustainable and planned manner is a tall order. This calls for a gigantic urban planning effort by the government which includes effective participation of its citizens. The government effort must consist of resource mobilization, revising the provisions of the enabling tools and providing opportunities to citizens. This will enhance their ability to utilize the relevant learning opportunities so their role may be part of the proposed inclusive strategy of the mission. The benchmarks of the city mission must be sensitive to regional local context given the country's size and diversity. Computerization is crucial, but government should not forget apathetic citizens. Urban planning solutions, as we mentioned before, urban planning must be accompanied by the sustainability concept, eco-friendly and welcoming entity. Sustainable and affordable housing is the must for the urban planning. Affordable housing has become a commonly used term for summarizing the nature of the housing difficulty in many nations. Zero carbon cities. This is a need for zero carbon city, which are urban areas powered by renewable energy techniques and technologies. To become a zero carbon city, as established modern city must collectively reduce emissions of greenhouse gases to zero, and all practices that emit greenhouse gases must cease. The aim of zero carbon city is reducing carbon emissions from building, reducing waste, transport, materials and food emissions by 50% globally, as above explained in its steps. Green roofs, storm water management and water retentions, improvement of microclimate, dust and toxic particles binders, protection from noise pollution. Sustainable transportation is also an important aspect wherein the town planning should take into consideration.